Okay, Thaddeus, we just recorded our session about what men and women want.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the discussions we had was, okay, are people being realistic with the numbers that they, what number they are and what they're looking for in a partner?
Mm-hmm.
So if someone looks and says, okay, I noticed that I'm really a 5, but I keep going for a 9 or 10,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way that someone can change their appetite? If I know that I love 10s, I love 9s, I love 8s, how do I make myself like or become attracted to a 5 that's just like me? What do you think?
Well, I think the long and short of it is that you can't. For instance, me, I like Wagyu steak, right? So let's say I go to Mastro's and I get me a nice Wagyu steak. It's like a
High-end steak?
yeah, it's $150, $175 just for the steak alone, right? It's very expensive. You could almost cut it with a fork. It's like the best steak that you will ever have. You put it in your mouth, it melts like butter, right? So after you experience that, for you to go to like Chili's and order the USDA steak, for like $19, and then you put that in your mouth, it will never be the same. It will never be the same experience as you had over at Mastro's. And then you can't trick yourself to every time you're eating this USDA steak, be like, yes, you know what, this is just as good as the one. No, that's just not how it works.
I read a book a while back about men, right? And one of the things they mention about men are they're very visual, right? All day you see the neighbor, if she's cutting her grass, you go to the mall, you see your coworkers, like your eyes are always stimulated by different women. So the author of this, he proposed that guys starve their eyes, right? If you starve your eyes and you only allow your eyes to see, let's say, the woman you're with, or in this case, the 5s, you will then develop a taste or an appetite for the 5s because that's the only thing you're feeding yourself. So my question is that possible in this case? Can the guy tell to himself, okay, I'm going to stop looking at Instagram and trying to get these girls with their filters and everything on how they look. I'm going to just look at women that are on my level and just hone in on them and just try dating and engaging with them. Do you think that could help them get an appetite for those women?
I could see how it would help, but the thing is, I don't see how your mind could forget like what you had in the past.
But you're saying it like they had it. They've just seen it. Like I'm sure a lot of
just
these.
looking at it, then then.
I'm sure that's the whole issue is that.
No, but the question you pose is,
Yes.
I am used to 10s. Like, how can I?
I mean, desiring 10s.
Oh,
Was the question.
Well, I mean, you can't ever. That's like me looking at a Mastro's menu the whole time and never really tasting it, and and saying, how can I go from that to enjoy my chili steak? If I never had it, then my chili steak is the best that I've ever had. So.
But if you look around and see everyone else is wanting
yeah, that's fine. You just
the
stop looking.
150 steak.
Just stop looking. Like, that's not on my budget. That's not on my budget. I can't afford it. So it makes no sense to keep torturing myself looking at the things that I can't afford. That's, for instance, just like me. I like really expensive cars. I love Lamborghini. Like, that's my, if anybody know me, that's my dream car. Lamborghini Huracan. However, I looking at it all day, that kind of doesn't make any sense. It defeats the whole purpose.
So if a guy says to himself, okay, I'm a 5, I'm going to tune out these other women. So what, they just really give the other 5s a chance and see if eventually they start liking them?
I'm a different type of person. So.
Well, what kind of person are you?
I'm not the settled kind of guy.
So you to level up?
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, okay, I like a Hurricane. Like, that's like my car, right? I'm not gonna be like, buy a Toyota and then just drive this Toyota every day.
And soup it up?
No.
You can soup it up, can't you? You can soup up your 5, maybe.
In the back of my mind, I'm always going to. It's either two things. It's either forget the Hurricane dream, like completely, and just live my life every day knowing that I will never ever experience a hurricane, or just go and do the work to get to the level of what it takes to attain a hurricane. Yeah.
So you're telling them to either accept what they got,
That's the only two choices you got. What else is there?
or level up. Okay. And what about the whole thing, like I said, about souping up the car? You get the Toyota Corolla and you put a spoiler on it.
Don't do that. Because all it'll be is with everything that you do, you're just gonna keep comparing it to the Hurricane, and the experience is not gonna be the same. I've done this in relationships as well. Like like you have this, you've seen potential and are falling in love with potential.
Yeah.
So you see this person, and then you see them as what they could be, and not as what they are. So you see in this, nice Toyota, and all you're seeing is that this Toyota could look like a Hurricane. Maybe if you just change the bumper, change the sticker, take off the Toyota, put a Lamborghini, change some of the interiors, change out the seats. But as much work as you do, that Toyota is always going to be a Toyota.
Okay, but what about if the Toyota is on its way to being a Lamborghini? So for example, what if you meet a woman and she's at a 5, but without your help, she's, hitting the gym, or she's got a consultant, or she's working on, leveling up herself. What about that?
So that is a risk, right? Because,
okay, still a risk.
Yeah, of course, because you don't know what she's... A lot of people want to be rich, or a lot of people want to lose weight. Everybody wants to... If I give you a choice, I give everyone a choice, right? Listen, I'm going to give you the choice. You get to pick your perfect body. You get to pick your perfect income. And you get to pick where you live. You get to pick your car and go. How many people you think would pick the life, the body, the income that they have right now?
Not many.
If any.
If any. If any, exactly.
Because we want these things, and most of us, we can achieve these things. We can, but the thing is, do we have the necessary, like the tenacity? Do we have the discipline it takes to achieve these things? And for most people, they just don't. For most of us on this planet, we don't. So the fact that she got a trainer, that's awesome. However, people start and stop all the time. So you're taking a huge risk saying that,
that's
okay,
true.
All right, so you right now 100 pounds overweight. Okay. You lost the 20. Okay, well, I see that you're on your way. Nah, because then at 50, you stop and then you go back. And then normally when you go back, you get even worse. So now you was at 100. True. Now you went back. Now you're at 150.
So what about, I guess the big point, I guess I'm thinking now as we're speaking, is people thinking that they won't be happy with the 5. But you might be, right? Like if you're a 5.
Not if you want a Lamborghini.
Oh.
So you will never be happy with it.
How do you know that eventually you won't be happy? You start driving that Toyota and you're like, man, this thing gets me to work every day. Go ahead.
And you're on the highway and somebody pulls up next to you in a Lamborghini and you look across and you're like,
why?
Yeah, this says that comparison is a theft of joy. Like that's what it is.
So maybe you stop comparing yourself to the Lamborghini. Be happy with who you are, what you have.
If you know that you'll never get there, then stop.
Yeah, and just be content with what you have.
That's it.
And I think they should try the experience. You might like the 5. They might have some things in common.
I can't think about anything in my life, like anything. Like for instance, I was always a very, very cheap guy. So I always had like Honda Civics, like no diss to the people who have Honda Civics. But I always had like these like my old cars, the Honda Civics, and I was fine with them. Like I was fine. The day I got my first luxury car, I was never able to go back. Never. The way how the door slams, the way how the seats like hug you, the leather, the smell, the prestige that you get, you cannot do it. You can't do it.
Because that's the crazy part is I feel like these people haven't even went in the car, smelled it or anything. They just see it. And it's like that's what they aspire to be because that's what they're seeing everywhere online, in magazines. That's what society is saying that they want. So they haven't even smelled it yet or tasted it, and that's what they want. So I guess in conclusion, it's those people at that level saying, okay, I'm going to make the decision to either level up or I'm going to deal with my 5s and find contentment in that. It gets me to work. It does what I need it to do. And potentially maybe they can build together.
Yeah, but like, true. And then another thing too is you have to see what level that you would be at least comfortable with.
Okay.
So for instance, some people are so far down on the dating marketplace value, their dating marketplace, that they could never be happy with who they are. And that's another thing that I'm trying to do is to try to build men up. I just had this conversation with a guy today and I told him plain and simple, some guys are they are delusional. Like you cannot expect to have these, 7, 8, 9 women, and bro, like you make $40,000 a year, you live with your mom, like you don't have a car, like you don't have anything that these women are not going to respect you. She's not gonna make herself a lawyer, went through school, and then she looking at you like, bro, like I've done all of this. What have you done? Also, no, you want to be the head of me? Where are you taking me? To your mama's house? Like,
ooh,
that just. So he has to reevaluate herself, and then on the flip side, she has done all of that. She's put in the work. She went to school. She's a lawyer. She in the process, she completely lost herself. Didn't take care of herself. Let her hair go, let her weight go, and then now you want these other lawyers and doctors and all that, and you realize that they're not checking for you, because what they want most above all is somebody who looks good, and you didn't take care of yourself at all. So.
Yikes.
You have to first, get to a level where, you're okay with people on your level. If you're not there, then forget about dating, forget about all that stuff. Work on yourself first.
So let's say about these guys, let's say eventually they level up and they do get to the upper echelon, as they say, and they get to the 9s and 10s. What happens then?
That's when you'll finally go to Mastro's, you'll have the piece of steak, and you will see if you like it or not.
Okay.
So sometimes.
So they may not like it.
Exactly. Sometimes you're just reading the menu, you're looking at it, the pictures look wonderful, and then you finally get it and you realize that you don't like it. And I can think about one situation where that did happen. So my whole entire life, I wanted this specific type of woman, like, that career, high salary, 6-figure woman who dresses really nice, goes to the gym, tight body. The type. You know that
yes,
type.
I do.
Mm-hmm. So, but those kind of women, they don't date scrubs, and I was a scrub for majority of my adult life. So I had to work my way up to now where I was either on their level or above their level. So now they're giving me the attention. Now I can actually go out with them, and so I went out with them, and I hated it.
Okay, hold up. So you do all of this.
All of that work. All of that work. Level way up. And I was like, that cashier at like Walmart, she looking better and better every day.
Oh my gosh. And why is that?
Like women, of course, because of the delusion, right? So they think that what they want from men is the same thing that men want from them. So she has already took her time. So in her mind, she is a 10. She making 6 figures. In her mind, she got everything that you could want, and then it makes them arrogant. They're very combative. Of course, in order for you to work your way up the ladder in corporate America, you have to have a lot of masculine traits, because you have to negotiate. You have to be hardworking, really diligent, dedicated. That's a lot of masculine energy. And so now you have me as like a dominant male and them as a dominant female. Everybody is like, oh well, that should just make a power couple. That's what I was thinking. I'm making $200,000. You making 200 together? That's 400,000. Man, we balling out. We good.
Wow. Okay, guys. So you hear that, guys? All of those looking for the 9s and 10s.
Well, 9s and 10s and looks is fine.
Oh, look.
So if she is a cashier at Publix, not Walmart, the cashier at Walmart may be a little
too low. Just kidding. We love Walmart. I love you. Okay.
Is she a cashier at Publix?
There we go to Publix again.
Yeah. She got her, associate degree or whatever it is in arts.
Oh God! Stop that. Stop.
But she looks, she looks good, and she's very, very cooperative. She's very, very feminine. She makes you feel like a man. She's willing to get on your man. Listen, come here, let's go. We can make something happen with that.
Okay, so it's a good topic, a good discussion. Keep the discussion going, okay? Let us know. Are we realistic about our number?